Okay, so for the folks at home for this live class, I just want to remind you about the props you could have for our class today. You might want a couple of blocks for underneath your hands, so you could grab those. If you choose to do a handstand or a headstand today, you might also want to be near a wall if you like the safety and support of a wall behind you. And the posture that we're going to look at today is a hand balance from the third series of Ashtanga yoga called Eka Pada Koundinyasana. And it requires a twist and some outer hip flexibility. So we'll progressively and playfully work towards that and just do whatever you can today and have fun with it. So to start out, let's take our outer right hip to the ground, and you can bend your right leg and then take your left leg back behind you, be on the inner part of your foot, and then start to crawl towards the front of your mat with both of your forearms facing forwards like in a sphinx. So you're in a little bit of a twist and you're on the outer right hip. Now you could kick your right leg out straight and you might get a little more of that outer hip stretch, IT band stretch. You could explore that. If you're not feeling much, I certainly am here, you could raise your leg a little higher and straighten it out, and that might give you a little bit more. And then you're welcome to stack your hands and place your head down on your hands. And for these live classes, we've been inviting in a philosophy theme, so as you're breathing there and getting used to this position in your body, our philosophy theme is around Sauca today. It's a Sanskrit word for, it's actually translated to purity, but purity can hold a lot of weight to it. So we often think about it as like clearing space for whatever it is that you need, or cleaning out space in various levels of the human experience for whatever it is you need. So you might consider here what it is that you'd like to clear or clean as an intention for your practice. So taking a deep breath in there, maybe gas pedaling out through your feet a little bit, pressing out through your feet, taking a deep breath out. And then you can bend your leg, if your leg is straight, the bottom leg, and press back into a downward facing dog and pedal out your feet. So we'll do that on the other side. I'm gonna switch so you can see me a little better. Coming onto the outer left hip. And so about a 90-degree with your upper legs on your inner right foot, and you can turn your torso so that your belly button's turning towards the floor, your forearms can come down. Feel free to kick out through that bottom leg towards straight. Feel free to rise it up a little bit if you're feeling like you need a bit more sensation. Wherever you land, let's take a few breaths. You could stack your hands and let your forehead come down onto your hands. Maybe press out through your feet. And one thing that I contemplate when we think about cleaning, we could think about, cleaning our house, cleaning our space for our practice, cleaning out thoughts that aren't serving us, maybe cleaning out our gut, whatever it is. But a close enemy to cleaning can be perfectionism, and there's nothing kind about perfectionism. So treading that line of clearing and cleaning without getting too heavy into the perfectionism vein. So we can take a deep breath in there, maybe letting our jaw go. Deep breath out. And then we can bend the bottom leg if it's straight. Turn ourselves into a downward facing dog and pedal out through the feet. Nice. From there, you can step your feet towards the top of your mat, halfway lift, and then forward fold over your legs. Take your arms out to the sides, come all the way up, reach up, and release your hands down by your sides. Sun salutation A. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, get long through your spine there. Exhale your way back. You might step or hop to a plank. You can always take your knees down, Chaturanga Dandasana, or to the floor. Upward facing dog or cobra there. And then up and back to your downward facing dog. And settle into your breath rhythm, that Ujjayi breath rhythm. Maybe there's a little bit of a sound to your breath. Pressing your arms towards straight, pressing your hips up and back, making your spine one size longer. And bending your knees, you can step or hop to the top of your mat. That halfway lift again, forward fold on your exhale. Push down through your feet, come all the way up, reach up, look up, hands by your sides. Again, like that, arms up. No rush. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, step or hop back to find the upper part of a plank. You can always take your knees down lower. Cobra or upward dog, your choice. Push up and back from below your belly button, downward facing dog. And finding your breath rhythm, spreading your palms and pressing your fingertips to the floor. Pressing your heels back and down. And bending your knees, step or hop, top of your mat. Forward fold there. Let's come all the way up, reach up, look up. And release your arms. Last one like that, arms wide, look up. And swan dive forwards over your legs. Halfway lift, step or hop to the top of a plank, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And exhale up and back to your down dog, breathing there. Maybe listening to your breath. Letting your breath clear space in your body and your mind. Bending your knees, step or hop, top of your mat. Halfway lift, forward fold. Let's come all the way up. And release the arms. Here we take some variations on Surya Namaskar B. So bend your knees, get low with your hips, come up into a chair form, and then straighten your legs as you forward fold. Halfway lift, your way back, your flow to the top of your push-up. Lower down, upward dog or cobra, and up and back to downward facing dog. Right leg high into the air here. And then let's take that right leg across our mat onto the outer edge of the foot. Plant your back foot like you're in a warrior two and let your left arm reach up. So it's kind of like you're in a triangle form, yeah. You might open your top arm a little bit behind you to open your pectoral area. Push the ground away with the limbs that are touching it. And then turn back and bring your back foot onto a pivot so your heel is lifted with your leg across like this and start to pulse back into your back heel for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can take your right knee to your nose and step back lower through your flow, upward dog or cobra, and then up and back to downward facing dog. Left leg high up into the air. Take your left leg across to the outside of your mat. Plant your back foot on that wide angle. Come up to that triangle variation. You might open your top arm a little bit. Push the ground away. Take a breath. Both hands to the ground. Come onto a pivot on your back foot so your heel is lifted and start to pulse back through that heel. You might feel a bit in your outer left hip here for 4, 3, 2, 1. You can go knee to nose and then back through your chaturanga, upward facing and downward facing dog. Again, reconnect with your breath. See if your heart rate's gone up. Can you slow down the rhythm? Also savoring the heat in your body. Bending your knees when you're ready. Top of the mat. And forward fold. Big bend in your knees takes you into chair. And push to stand. We'll do the same thing, adding on, bending into your knees to chair. Forward fold, exhale. Long spine there. Your way back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Then take your right leg high. And right leg comes across, back foot on an angle. Open to that triangle variation. You can open your top arm wide, push the ground away. Both hands to the floor. Turn onto a pivot on your back foot. Pulse back, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you can lower all the way onto your hip here and lower your chest to the ground. Maybe you come into a little bit of a back bend, like a bit of a cobra with your upper back. And then go knee to nose and step back through your flow. Chaturanga, upward dog, and downward facing dog. Left leg high behind you. Bring it across. Take your back foot on that wide angle, triangle variation. Take a breath. Both hands to the floor, back foot on a pivot. Pulse back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then slowly lower onto your hip. Lower your chest to the ground. Maybe take a bit of a back bend there. And then you can come up knee to nose. Step it back through your flow. Upward and downward facing dog. Really fortify your weight coming down through your fingers. You can even bend your knees a bit and move your groin creases up and back. Get long through your low spine. Listen to a cycle of breath. Bend your knees, step or hop top of your mat. Long spine, forward fold. And bend your knees again for that chair form. Come up halfway and then push to stand. And take your feet hip distance apart. Hands on your waist. Open your chest. Bend your knees, forward fold. Take your big toes with your peace fingers. Come halfway up. And then pull on your toes as you aim your head for the floor. Maybe rooting your heels and taking one cycle of breath, listening to the sound of your breath. Halfway up. And take your hands underneath your feet if you can, or a variation of a forward fold that works. Halfway lift again, and forward fold, stepping on your wrist creases. You can have your knees as bent as you need. Listen to a cycle of breath. Again, halfway lift, hands come to your waist. Heavy heels brings you all the way up to stand, and take your feet together. We'll step out to the right for triangle. You could take a block with you. I'll just show you that. Right foot out, back foot in a little bit. You could take your hand to your ankle or to your block and open your left arm towards the ceiling, spinning your bottom chest to the ceiling, pushing into your back foot. Listen to one cycle of breath. Come all the way up. If you have a block, take it with you. Turn to your front foot and come up and over your hip joint. Take the block down to the outer foot, or your hand can be peace fingers grabbing your big toe. And take a cycle of breath in triangle, stretching from your sternum, pressing into your back foot. If you have your block, come all the way up and turn to the back of your mat so that you're facing your right foot. Bring your back foot in, so it's more you're in a pyramid. Fold forwards, belly button faces the floor, and your block can go under your nose or to the outside of your foot and start to twist. So this is a key shape for Eka Pada Koundinyasana. Push your hips back, and then your right arm can come up if you like. Revolved triangle. See if you can clip your right hip into its socket and connect to that outer part of your leg. You might listen to one cycle of breath. Coming down with your hands, windmill all the way up, and then turn all the way around to your front left foot and come into your revolved triangle on the other side. Under your nose with your block or hand, or to the outside of your foot. Hips back, head forwards. Feel free to lift your top arm up. Widen through your collarbones. Clip your left hip back and steady yourself in your back foot. Listening to a cycle of breath there. Left hand down to the floor. Come all the way up, face the right side of your mat, and step to the top of your mat.